we're in everywhere. So it allows us to, like, the scale in the mail house has been a huge, like, just that in itself. Like, we don't have to worry about having a person there to spend hours just sitting there, slice open the mail and like sort through the mail and then like spend hours scanning it and then now parsing it. It's like hours and hours of tedious work. And it's like, okay, now I need is a body. It doesn't matter, anybody of any scale could just scan everything in the machine and mail's done in 5-10 minutes, done, you know? So it's
Mhm.
like, it's from that piece too. Even our customer service, like we have literally, if you look, I don't know if you can see our Zendesk, we probably have at least a minimum of 1,000 emails that come in a day that have to be handled. And so before we had only like 4 to 8 CS reps, and now we've been able to scale up. And the biggest problem is like people were like rushing to get through, like, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. And it's like, okay, like they would make a lot of mistakes. They forget to do things. They get a document and forgot to set a task. Now I don't have to worry about people setting tasks because now the system just sets the task for everyone. There's probably, I think, about 25% of our email work that is now solved through automation. It doesn't require a person to even touch the emails. It just does the work, auto replies to clients, and close out the ticket. So it's just like 25% of their work just became automated. It just removes the like amount of mistakes a person can make. So that's been huge. Really, the reality is it eliminates mistakes from people. It eliminates the amount of time I have to train on people. It's just like done. It's just done. You know, so it's honestly allowed us to scale up a lot. And it's still, I know that we've only touched the surface of it.
We've been working together for a while. Don't tell anyone else, but you're one of my favorite clients. And could you tell us a little bit about what you guys do at Liberty Debt Relief and your role there?
Yeah, absolutely. So here at Liberty Debt Relief, we are a debt settlement company. So we've been in business for about 7 to 8 years now. I think going into our 8th year, and we have a pretty broad range of background on our team. So myself, I am a customer service operations director, and I've been with the company now 2 years. I have in the debt settlement industry. I have about 16 years of experience in the debt settlement industry, working in all kind of aspects, from everything from the entry level of like call center, cold calling, telemarketing, to sales, to marketing, to mail house, to operations, to customer service, legal, you name it. I've done a little bit of everything. And so I love operations and helping, companies grow and expand. So that's my role here with Liberty.
So you're in charge of Zendesk now. And then there was a moment in time where you're trying to optimize certain things, and that's kind of how we got in touch. And so maybe
Yes.
tell us a little bit about what made you first reach out to us at Knott's, what you're trying to solve, and
So we started using Zendesk kind of as our solution um, to, optimize our systems. So when we reached out to Knott's originally, it was because with Zendesk, there's some little quirks with it. It was a great system to kind of merge everything into one, but with Zendesk, the tickets that would come into us we'd have a lot of duplicates. So a lot of duplicate emails, not necessarily duplicate emails, but duplicates from the senders. So sometimes emails from multiple clients or regarding multiple issues for one client would come in, and we'd end up with a lot of duplicate tickets that would get dispersed and to different. We have our Zendesk system on a round robin system, so it would get dispersed to different agents. So we have multiple people working one problem. So we then were trying to figure out, how do we identify these duplicates? And that's what led us to Knots. My developer was like, hey, maybe we should check out Knots. And so because it was integrated already with Zendesk, that was one of the key reasons why. But from there, we were looking for a way to identify keywords in an email, whether it's the subject line or the body, to kind of merge those duplicates to minimize really the time we have to spend on figuring out, okay, who's working this ticket, and then kind of just redirecting everything. So it was more of like, that was the real key reason that we originally reached out to Knot.
yeah, we've had such a cool journey together because your request made us actually improve our apps and go through a process where to fit your needs. And there was some like really interesting use cases, even around the attachments that you end up getting or PDFs and stuff like that. Could you talk about that a little bit too with the kind of things we're doing now with those processes?
Yeah, so kind of following through with Zendesk, right? So before we even use Zendesk or not in this case, we were managing over about 16 plus in Outlook inboxes. So and then so that was like one piece. And then the second piece was we had our CRM that would manage all of our tickets and tasks. And then we have Ring Central as our phone system. And then we had Abby document capture software to really pick up documents. And we love the world of automation. We do a lot of automation. We believe in AI and being able to utilize AI to scale up our company. So that was where we've been kind of with so many different pieces and of the puzzles. We decided to utilize, migrate everything into Zendesk as a center hub for us to work off. So we migrated everything into Zendesk. And so ultimately, after migrating into Zendesk, we were trying to find ways to migrate all of our data with Knot, since Knot was already, we were using the API to sync all the data. And then we started using the studio, just trying to figure out ways to keep all of our software into one and not have like multiple systems. So right now we are only using Zendesk and Knot systems. So it kind of helped us transfer everything into one. And yeah, with the you guys were very kind to help develop our system, where, with all the emails that come in with PDF attachments. Previously, it would require a person to sit there, look at the documents, identify key things on a document. So we're in the debt settlement industry, so we deal with a lot of creditor correspondence, client correspondence, collection letters, statements, and things like that. So the idea was to be able to, receive any of the PDF documents that we receive in an email attachment from a client. We would used to have a person open up that PDF, figure out who it's from, what the creditor is, or what the document is, and then now we still have to open our CRM and find that client, upload the documents, update the debts, and things like that. So now with what you guys have developed for us is that it's allowed us to minimize, remove the person from that element. So now we have our, the Not software, it identifies there's an email with an attachment. It scans the attachment, extracts the data, and then it syncs into our CRM and be able to locate that client and then be able to update the fields we need, copy the email, copy the notes into our CRM, and upload the document without requiring a person. So it's definitely minimized the amount of time, allowing us to work more effectively and efficiently. So that's been a huge kind of transition. And then now we've been working a lot with the developers on trying to scale that up on a bigger level. So now we've even minimized our mail house. So we previously had people in charge of mail that would come in, and they would have to do the same thing. They would have to, scan the mail in, parse it, and then upload it. And so we've also now been able to eliminate our mail, which used to take 3 days to go through, would now take 10 minutes. So it's been a huge transition. You guys are awesome on creating, and so thankful for you guys to have developed that system for us and help us kind of navigate that. So it's really Knots has really kind of allowed us to work most effectively and efficiently, and we're always looking for ways to evolve, minimize costs, and consolidate our systems. And your developers have been very friendly and helpful and awesome at that. So I appreciate you guys tremendously.
Oh, Nancy, that's great. I didn't know about all those details. That's awesome. And I haven't had the chance to ask this because normally we're like in these calls that are very operationally focused. So when you've implemented these changes now, and I know like you even just told me that your team is growing, you guys are
Yeah.
doing well, your business is thriving. So I'm guessing, but I just would love to hear, confirm what that looks like. Is that so before you're having a person take 3 days to do this, now our automation takes 10 minutes. It What effect is that having on your team? What effect is that having on your business?
So, I mean, it's definitely helped us minimize labor costs. So we don't have to have more bodies So it allows us to scale. So we've been able to scale our team in different countries now. So we've been able to outsource a lot of that. And so, yeah, we definitely, I think the biggest thing is um, to the effect that it's minimized the amount of time that we have to spend, and we can deliver more quality customer service with time with our clients, help increase retention definitely, because now even with the Knots and the Zendesk merging together in the systems, it's created a lot more communications for our clients. We're not missing things. We're on top of things. So it's also helped increase retention for us, being able to deliver outstanding customer service, being able to address issues. We have more communications to our clients. And so ultimately, it's helped us, increase our retention, decrease our amount of labor costs, and increase our time and efficiency. And so really we've been able to scale the company up tremendously in the last 6 months because of that. And now we're getting ready for our next Guatemala expansion. So just continuing to grow and expand. So yeah, that's been the biggest level of help that it's been.
That makes me so happy to hear. Last question.
Yeah.
I have the feeling that yeah, you're always wonderful to work with, and always we like that you're pushing the envelope on what's needed because that's how we build,
Yes.
right? Like that's another great way that we build. So I'm wondering too, though, do you have any advice or recommendations for other leaders that might be in a similar position to you?
I would say, I mean, if you're not on board yet with technology in the society that we live in today, technology will continue to evolve. So you have to stay relevant in this industry. And the reality is AI is going to become part of the future. And so they always say, you got to work smarter, not harder. It applies for us in all areas of our business as well. So as operations, I think our goal would be, to find ways to work effectively. Our goal is to keep costs to a minimal, find ways to scale your operations and maximize profits. So, I mean, I would recommend this is what I always do with my developers. I come up with like all of my crazy ideas, my wildest dreams. I create a wish list. If money was not a problem, this is what I would imagine our business can grow to. This is what I would want as our vision and our future. And then I turn that into I put it into, I speak it, I turn it into a piece of paper, and I leverage my developers to kind of make that happen. And so just kind of honing in and leaning into technology and AI is what I would probably recommend. And that's what I did here with Knots, is just come up with a crazy idea and like, this is what we need to scale. How do we make this happen? So that's, if you're not doing that in your operations, that's probably the best advice or recommendation I would give to you to kind of really scale and grow your business. I'm really like, it's just using technology. It's just like, that you really say, it's like, if people in operations don't think like, oh, we just need to run the business. It's like, how do we maximize our business?
Nancy, I think a lot of people will benefit from hearing that and that process you have. And because yeah, I think that's so great. And I think that, it's different when we talk to someone like yourself because for us, from a Knott's perspective, it's always interesting. It's like we have these out of the box things, but we also can build and so sometimes when we get in contact with people, they're set in their limited thinking instead of asking those kind of border questions or like what the future might look like. And so that's where we get most of our inspiration from. And in your case, it's so awesome to see when we first met. I think that you reached out and you kind of I remember our first call and you were really like, are you someone that can help me or not? And is this really possible? And can you really do that? And there's all these questions that you had, and as we continued to work together, we kind of did it piece by piece, right? We
Yeah.
first started just with merging, then we started with syncing between platforms, and then finally now we have this really crazy, robust system that makes it so you have a data source of truth, you process all your PDFs, and then it's just so funny to think about. I never realized really when we were doing this that it would affect even your hiring process so much, even because you don't need to hire people that are okay with sorting mail anymore or dealing with with that, those really medial, tedious, boring tasks. And
Yes.
so, what a cool evolutionary conversation for both of us to have gone through together. And yeah, thanks so much for taking the time. And I really appreciate you. So thanks again.
Of course, Hassan. And I appreciate you. And David's been amazing. You guys are also awesome and super communicative. Your communication's on point. Your follow up, because as busy as I am working on a million projects, you guys will be like, "Hey, Nancy, we're still here. Did you need us?" And so I appreciate the follow up and the communication. And I really appreciate you guys, taking on my crazy ideas and like outside of the box. You're like, "Hey, we don't do that," but maybe we could. And so I appreciate you guys being open and receptive to ideas and not captive to just like, hey, this is only what we do. You guys have been a pleasure, honestly, to work with. And also, of course, like I said, cost effective. You guys were really, even though you guys, I understand the time, the value, the cost, and it takes into developing things. And you guys have been super generous with everything, including the cost and working with us. So I appreciate you guys really and your involvement in allowing our company to really grow and scale. So thank you guys. I can't thank you guys enough for everything you do.
Oh, thanks, Nancy. All right, that's a great point to end, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, appreciate it, Hassan. I'll talk to you then. Have a good
Okay,
one.
all right,
Okay,
bye.
thanks. Bye.